Before I start this video, I want to say that I am not biased. Don't look at that. I feel you looking over my shoulder. That's not helping my argument. All right. You gonna look at it? Fine. You just had to look at it. But is it time to finally give it up for the big end? We've been locked into these console wars for the last 3 decades now, and this wouldn't be the first time Nintendo has outlived and outlasted one of its competitors. I mean, they used to make whole-ass video game consoles. Now they work for Nintendo. I'm being hyperbolic. I don't I mean, I don't really buy into or care about any kind of console war concept. I like Taco Bell. And the only way I can get that is by going outside. But it is insane to me, the sheer amount of success Nintendo has had over the last 8 years, especially when you compare it to the sheer failure that Xbox is facing. And don't get me started on Concord. Emphasis on the con. Rumors are that the Switch 2 is gonna get revealed sometime in the next couple of weeks, and if you haven't heard those, then it's probably about time you got the internet. I don't think there's a gaming channel out there that hasn't milked these 2 tweets dry. And with this console getting closer and closer, it's baffling to me that in just a couple weeks, we're getting a full brand new top-down style Zelda game. And then just a couple weeks after that, a brand spanking new, one of the best looking Mario Party games, Jamboree, I've seen. Hold on, wait a minute, cause just a couple weeks after Jamboree, we're getting Mario and Luigi Brotherhood, Brothership, Brother something. They're a couple of brothers. Do you hear that theory that Dr. Mario is actually the 3rd Mario brother? It's crazy, but it actually makes a lot of sense. It's some TikTok with a kid that had this theory.
And the colors of the Italian flag are green, red and white.
I'm crying.
I think he's right. And then if all of that isn't enough, just a few weeks after Mario and Luigi, we're getting the first brand new F-Zero game. Oh, not really, still not getting that? I'm sorry, YouTube keeps buffering lately. You know, things really don't work like they used to. Come on! You know what always does work without a fuss? My Raycons. Yeah, it's a sponsor. I mean, the video's buffering anyway. What else you got to watch? Raycons everyday earbuds are made to make your everyday just a little bit better. And they keep improving these suckers too. For example, they now have a 32-hour battery life, and in just 10 minutes, you can charge up to 90 minutes of playtime with the new quick charge feature. Plus, they have multi-point connectivity now. So if I want to connect my Switch and my Steam Deck at the same time, guess what? I can do that. Do that. What song was that? Who that? Do that. I don't know what song it is, but I can listen to it with my Raycons. They've also added active noise canceling to these now. I just took a flight to London, and you have no idea how much better it is using these on a plane now. I've literally worn these everyday earbuds for every day for hours on end, and I've never had a single ache or pain. They are so comfortable. I wear them to the gym, I wear them when I work out, I wear them when I go for walks, I wear them when I'm cleaning the house. And another reason why I like them so much is they don't fall out. And as I put these away and back on charge, I can bust out my new everyday protective case cover. They have all these fun new designs. I got this stone wash looking one, but oh, that does look way cooler. Oh boy, I do like that. Let me show you. Raycons are comfortable, easy to use, and by clicking the link in the description or going to buyraycon.com/beatemups, you can get 20 to 50% off on the site. 20 to 50% off on, oh, the video is starting again. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring. Please continue. The time between getting the last great Switch game and getting the next Nintendo console could honestly just be a matter of weeks, which is crazy considering the dusty old Wild West tumbleweed rolling through town last year of a console that we've come to expect. PlayStation 5 Pro. You can buy 2.5 Switches for how much this thing's gonna cost, but the difference between the PlayStation Pro and the regular PlayStation is negligible. And it's only $700, by the way, if you don't want a disc drive. And don't even get me started on the stand they're selling separately. If you want to buy both of those, it's gonna be $810. And, by the way, we live in the great United States of America. I say we, you might not. A lot of us do. Tax! We got tax here. It doesn't even include tax. Oh, this was not in the 1776 independence. God bless America. Oh, you all have the rights to bear arms, and the PlayStation 5 is going to be $870 out the door. What can you get for that? You can get a whole Nintendo Switch console, and Tears of the Kingdom, and Mario Party Jamboree, and 79 Arizona iced teas, and have just enough left over to get an Xbox Series S and 1 Costco hot dog. And in Australia and Canada, that puts the PlayStation 5 Pro at over $1,000. Oh, but the PlayStation 5 Pro's fidelity. I mean, oh, that's Mario Party. Sorry, that's Mario Party Jamboree again. Get rid of that. This is the difference between PlayStation 5 Pro and the regular base PlayStation. No, sorry, that one's the PlayStation 5 Pro, and this is the... Yeah, Zach, which one was the PlayStation 5 Pro? Which one was the regular? The left? Are you sure? I can't see any difference. Oh, I'm just playing. I'm just having some fun. We're just goofing and gaffing. But this console being integrated into the current PlayStation ecosystem kind of just makes it another add-on option for Sony gamers. You know, only about 3% of people actually bought the PlayStation VR 2. I was in that 3%. And it's the same with the PlayStation Portal. And I don't want to brag about my terrible financial choices, but once again, I was in 3%. So asking your current fan base to trade up to a model that costs $200 more is kind of a tall, Attack on Titan-sized ass. Digital Foundry took a closer look at the PlayStation 5 and came to the conclusion that...
I don't think it's for new owners, right? It's for people that have got a PlayStation 5, but they've got the disposable income to have a better PlayStation 5.
Which to me gives shades of when Xbox said something very similar about the One X.
Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
How did that work out? So what? The PlayStation 5 is just for people that have money to waste? An interesting demographic. But at what point do these high-tech, high-fidelity consoles kind of just make themselves redundant? I mean, the PC Master Race has been looking down on us for years, and honestly, I'm starting to get it. I mean, if I want better performance out of my PC, I just gotta insert a new GPU or CPU. It's like a big Lego brick. You just kind of click one in, and just like that, you build it up, you got better frame rates. On console, you gotta what? Just toss out the whole ass 3-year-old console you just bought, throw it in the trash? And for what? So that you can finally see a game in 60 FPS for the next 2 years until the PlayStation 6 comes out, and you gotta do it all over again. This video is very biased, I know, but put a little tick on a Nintendo for me, because this is another point to them. Nintendo just focuses on games. Not worrying about trying to beat the race to 8K 120 frames. Wait, stop the video. Stop, I was right. I knew I was right. This is a new article that came out, a new interview that came out while I was making this video. I'm losing my mind. The amount of edits and revisions I've had to make on this long-ass video while Zach and I have been editing it. Shigeru Miyamoto wants Nintendo to be left out of the game wars, focused on a high specs and performance. You can read the article. The whole thing is exactly what I'm talking about. It's so annoying because if this video had come out first, I would have seemed like a genius. Although it's kind of obvious, but it's gonna seem like I make this video because of this article. This article came out after my video, but he's essentially talking about everything that I'm saying was my vibe of Nintendo. They don't care about the game war, which is how my video started. They don't care about high specs and performance, and they just care about making good games. Oh, who said that? Was it me? Was it this guy 10 seconds ago? The other thing here is Nintendo, Miyamoto said he doesn't like AI either. We here at Nintendo, we want to do it all ourselves. We're not really buying into this whole AI thing. Suddenly, this YouTube title is making more and more sense, ain't it? Sorry, blow my tongue. I don't know why I waggled it like a happy dog. Back to the video. They gave up on that a long time ago and just focusing on making great video games. Imagine that, Microsoft, who, according to you, aren't a fan of console exclusives because you don't think it'll help sell the console. But sure, the Xbox fridge, That's gonna do numbers. Nintendo solely focusing on games means if the console gets old, yeah, let it. The value in games like Mario Wonder isn't how many hairs you can see in Mario's Italian mustache. And if you want to pay $200 more, you can see the greasy pizza stains from last night's dinner. We all wanted the Nintendo Switch Pro, right? Like, we all stomped and screamed our little feet and praised Nintendo. But looking back on it, thank God it didn't happen. I mean, is that really what we needed? To what? Play ARMS in 4K? And for those who can't commit to the $200 upgrade, feeling bad every time they boot up a game, knowing they're playing the worst version of it, just to then cast that aside 2 years later when the Switch 2 comes out. I mean, Nintendo did try that once before with the 3DS, but then it became super confusing for consumers on what games their 3DS could play. Can my old 3DS play Xenoblade Chronicles, but it would just be worse? Or can I only play it on a new 3DS? And if I bought a new old 3DS, could that play Xenoblade Chronicles? Or is it only a new 3DS that could play Xenoblade Chronicles? Also, what is Xenoblade Chronicles? I think wanting to avoid anything I just said, Nintendo decided against making a Pro model. Good. Also, think about this. The jump between Switch to Switch 2 is gonna be so much cooler now that we've been edged for 8 years. I mean, it's kind of like only having played the Wii, and then out of nowhere, someone lets you play Wukong on their 4090. I mean, there's not enough Kleenex in the world. I feel okay with making fun at Sony. And I hope you do too, because they're doing so well as a company, and I also really like a lot of their games. I'm starting to view them similar to Apple now, like releasing the stand and charging us separate. That's literally what Apple does. I mean, you got two choices really. You can either lean your $5,000 Mac screen up against a pile of loose books, or buy the $1,000 stand. I know I take it back. The $30 one from Sony is not that bad. But that's how it starts, you know? Soon enough, we're gonna be buying the controller and the cord separately too. When will it end? But I do like PlayStation and Sony. They've given us some incredible games, as infrequent as they might be sometimes. Astro Bot is so freaking good. Sure, they borrowed a ton of inspiration from Nintendo, but you can't say they didn't understand the assignment. There have been plenty of developers that have tried to borrow inspiration from Nintendo, but you still end up with games like Balan Wonderland. So credit where credit is due. Astro Bot nailed it. Oh, that was a good edit. In fact, as of right now, despite all the Nintendo games that have come out this year, my actual game of the year is a split between Wukong and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I guess I'm a phony, or a pony. What is it that they call? I've never understood that. Sony pony? You know how like I am like literally goggling Nintendo's this video? The equivalent of that for PlayStation is a Sony pony. Why pony? Anyway, Wukong has nothing to do with PlayStation. That said, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, now that's a video game. Everything I've loved about video games. Questing, adventuring, exploring a whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes. Rebirth has it all. It's my favorite Final Fantasy ever, and it only sold 2 million copies. I mean, that's less than Metroid Dread. And no shade to Metroid Dread, but I mean, come on. I can't imagine the amount of love, work, and hours that went into making a game like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the same amount of people that played that is equivalent to how many people watched me buy every Nintendo Switch. And I did that in an evening. It was so much better than Remake, and that sold 7 million, which is a 70% drop-off of players. And they're supposed to make a third game. If we can expect the same amount of drop-off again, that's 500,000 people looking at playing the third game. Are we sure they're even gonna bother making it? But games like God of War Ragnarok sold 15 million. Spider-Man 2 sold 11 million. Horizon Forbidden West sold 8.5 million. And all of those games are gonna look incredible on the PlayStation 5 Pro. on the PlayStation 5 Pro. And the PlayStation 5 console itself has sold 60 million. So it's definitely solidified itself as the go-to pro gamer, high fidelity, high tech console. Because Xbox, I mean, I feel bad picking on them. It's like finding the kid in school that's already being bullied by everybody else and also picking on him. He's had enough. So respectfully, Xbox Series X and S has sold 28 million units. I mean, it's exactly 2 better than the Wii U, just without those pesky exclusives that wouldn't have helped it anyway. To be fair, it didn't help the Wii U, so maybe they're onto something. But that doesn't mean Xbox doesn't have games. As of right now, here are all of the exclusive games that you can only play on an Xbox and not any other console or PC. I could be wrong, but I don't think there is any. Every game that's on Xbox is on another console, at the very least on Xbox Game Pass, PC, or Steam. So, why buy an Xbox? I think all of this is why I believe Nintendo is the best gaming company. And I know Nintendo isn't always consumer friendly either. If it's your first time here, we've talked extensively about that very fact on this very channel, about my issue with the eShop and all of the Luigi content, about their online service and the mobile. Even Nintendo Switch game tax, and so much more. I mean, honestly, you want to compare a company to Apple, Nintendo is as egregious with the way that they nickel and dime the eShop than Apple does with the iOS store. I have no idea why Genshin Impact never came to the Switch. But that said, and ignoring all of that, because this is not what the video is about, you can buy, for the low price of $300, a current gen, for now, video game console that you can play absolutely anywhere, anytime you want, and has an insane library of games that's stacked full of third-party and first-party exclusives. And almost all of those exclusive games, by the way, are often considered the best game in its genre on any console. Nintendo has the best racer, the best action-adventure, the best platformers, best life sim, and soon to be the best FPS, and I'm willing this into existence. I'm sorry, Halo. No, not that one, I meant a good one. The Big N has supported the Switch well into its final year and right up to the release of their new, more powerful, and very affordable $399 Nintendo Switch 2. What's that? I know the price? You better believe I'm hoping that I do. It's leaked. Everything leaks. What is it these days? Why is there so many leaks? Especially at Nintendo. Isn't your main mascot a plumber? I hate that it's getting leaked. I want to find out when Nintendo wants me to find out. It's like every year Nintendo tries to throw me a surprise birthday party, and then these people online just tell me when it's happening. What am I? $3.99. Who would have guessed? So it's been 2 weeks since I scripted and shot this video, and since then, the whole Switch 2 model render, you can see it. It's right there. It's leaked. More leaks, Nintendo. On top of you having a plumber working for you, you also got a doctor. If it's leaking this much, you should go see him. Maybe they're lying, but the same person that said it's getting revealed in a couple weeks for $400 also leaked that the PlayStation 5 was coming out, and that would be $700. Can I just say, by the way, that $400 is best case scenario, and actually the price I was hoping for before this guy ruined my birthday party. For 2 reasons. One, it's still affordable. Comparatively, I mean, you compare it to Xbox and to, holy crap, price tag is still a jump scare. It situates the Switch 2 as the newest console on the market and cheaper than the competition. I mean, as the kids say in Fortnite after they rizzed their way through Tomato Town, that's a Giat-sized dub. But on top of that, I'm actually glad it's not cheaper. I know, that's a very must be nice thing to say, but the Switch was cheap. I mean, $300, that's cheap. Like, damn, that is cheap. But also, the Switch is cheap. like it's made cheap. Its average, even at launch hardware, was stretched so thin over the last 8 years, to the point where we all happily, well not all, a lot of us happily paid $50 more for just a better screen. So please, Nintendo, this time around, we trust you. It's not like going into the Switch from the Wii U. You've built that trust back, and we know whatever console you're gonna make next is going to be a banger of a system and have an incredible lineup of video games. Not only from Nintendo themselves, but there are so many reports of third-party developers that regret not making games for the Switch earlier, thinking it was going to be another Wii U situation. But just like an ex-girlfriend who noticed on Instagram that we lost a ton of weight post-breakup and got kind of buff, they've come crawling back with their tail between their legs, promising if we just take them back, they're gonna give us so many new fun experiences on the Switch too, and they'll never leave us again for Barry. So Nintendo, just get that Switch 2 and cram it with the best CPU and GPU and whatever you, but not the Wii U. I'll pay an extra 100 over the Switch if it means the next 8 years ain't as crusty or dusty as the last. But does all of that really make Nintendo the best gaming company? Well, yes, in my opinion. Roll the credits. A lot of gamers outside of the Nintendo ecosystem still see Nintendo as the underdog. This perceived notion that the Switch only has baby games and it can't compete with the PlayStation 5's raw $700 power. It seems to confuse people into thinking that Nintendo is still on the up and up, somehow lagging behind the other companies. But I'm sorry. Where is PlayStation's theme park ride? It's actually pretty easy to forget how huge Nintendo is right now, but let me remind you, not one, not two, but 3 massive theme park locations across the globe. And not only did they just build those, but they're already expanding. And then Florida getting a Zelda theme park. And if you missed that, it's not officially announced. Somebody leaked a photo of Enuma at the park with Miyamoto. What did you think we would think if we saw this? That you two were just going on a cute little fun date around Nintendo World together in Florida? Also, Nintendo just broke mainstream box office records with the Mario Hollywood movie, raking in $1.3 billion worldwide, with sequels to that movie on the way and even a Zelda movie. I mean, sure, PlayStation and Sony have made some video game adaptation movies as well with mixed results, but nothing like Nintendo's Mario movie, where something actually stuck and could lead to more of those in the future. Thankfully. Sorry, I did not like that movie at all. Man, who produced that movie?
Me.
Oh, god damn it.
I'm going to produce the Zelda movie.
Okay, you're allowed one mistake in the movie and oh, god damn it.
Didn't do a good job on that one, did I?
I mean, at least it can't get any And then you also have Nintendo opening up a museum in Kyoto, which I really wanted to go to, but for some reason they raffled off all the entry tickets for months. You can't go to the museum for months. It sucks.
Hey,
oh,
one
man.
more! The Zelda movie's gonna be
Stop
great!
showing me those. There's also multiple Nintendo stores around Japan, and then one even in New York, which is my favorite one. Where's the PlayStation stores? Xbox? I mean, what's Xbox gonna sell in a store? The fridge. Also, despite how horrific that recent Pokemon game was, Nintendo does own a third part in the Pokemon franchise, which, as I like to say so often, is the world's largest franchise. It's twice as big as the nearest competitor in Mickey Mouse, which means Nintendo is part ownership in something that is quite literally bigger than Disney. Take that, Walt. When I see Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Metroid, Fire Emblem, Pokemon, Smash Brothers, Animal Crossing, Pikmin, even Xenoblade, I see almost infallible properties that could release just about anything and be a success. But it could be like literally the worst thing I've ever seen or played or in the existence of mankind, and you'd still probably sell at least 2 million and have people say it's good after 30 hours. I mean, can you say the same with Sony? This is literally their only mascots they have. Who's that? I mean, at least Xbox has Kratos and Banjo. Either way, you always know what you're getting with Nintendo. Great games, and a console worth the price. Games that are finished on release. Games that, above all, are just fun. And if they're not, you won't mention them again. I do think having options is fantastic. I love having my PlayStation so that I can be blown away by experiences that just wouldn't fit on my Switch. I even love having my Xbox. Don't get me wrong, I know I've clowned on it a lot today, but it's perfect for so many things. Variety is the spice of life, after all, and not to get too philosophical at the end of this video, I just want to quote an absolute queen and something she once said, and that's HOTTOGO. You can take me hot to go. Except you, Barry, you're still fucking dead to me.